Christine's sister, Adriana. My daughter, Kathy, was born 1 year after Peter, and my daughter, Sarah, soon after. We lived one state over for all but the first year of Peter's life, and we saw a lot of him and the Wisconsin Wootens. I had a front row seat watching Peter grow from baby to boy to man. What I can share with you about Peter that I don't think you would mind you knowing is that he was very creative. Peter was funny. He liked being in on a joke. He didn't mind occasionally being the joke. He loved board games, especially Cash Flow. Peter played a mean game of tag. He loved Lego when he was little, and as he grew older, he liked Kathy's friends, and they liked him too. What I can share with you about Peter that he might mind me sharing is that Kathy and Sarah once shaved his legs and painted his toenails during a sleepover. I can share with you that baby Peter was heavy. He was a chunk. He was very solid, and he was always smiling. I can share these things because Peter, as we knew him, is not here to stop me. I believe he is here among us, that some version of Peter carries on. I would give my right arm and my left if I could just pick him up one more time, heavy or not. But I couldn't because I wouldn't have any arms. And because he would be really, really heavy. And because Peter isn't here. Not the solid corporeal Peter that we could pick up and we carried. Not the Peter who built Lego cities and loved watching Survivor and guessing who would make it to the end. Peter chose to go. In his last year, he was so isolated in his mind and so tired that he tried, but he couldn't find that light. But Peter is also here. It's like Schrodinger's nephew. Peter is both here and he's not here. What I suggest is that Peter at his core, his smiling, sunny, happy, loving, cuddly core is here, just not the form we knew. That soul took flight. But he left some breadcrumbs along the way. And what are those breadcrumbs? Well, I will come back to that. Bess Streeter Aldrich was an Iowan poet and author who wrote stories about her pioneer childhood. In her novel, White Bird, she included these lines. Rough ways and stony ways, I think it was he trod, but now all I see is a white bird flying high, flying up to God. Peter was not a religious person. This service honors his skepticism and is faithful to his wishes, secular. But I will suggest, based on recent experiences, Peter did not end. Peter is. In recent weeks, several of us have been visited by unexpected messengers. For Peter's mother, it was a baby bee, within minutes of talking about Peter in the context of a bee. And for Nicholas and Jill, it was a dragonfly who insisted, persisted, waited, and gave most of its life to deliver them a message. You may have already flipped the program over and found the dragonfly painting and poems on the back page. This program has a few favorite photos of Peter, but does not and cannot include anywhere near the number of photos taken of Peter by Peter in his lifetime. There are literally millions. The program contains highlights from his obituary, but not the full version, although there is a link for it to follow for the longer draft. The program also closes with excerpts from a poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson, Thoughts on a Suicide. Only excerpts from that poem because the full poem is something like 50 stanzas. It's too long, it's a telephone book. I found out recently that Tennyson stopped writing, full stop, for 10 years after the death by suicide of a much-loved friend. He couldn't bear it. He couldn't bear it until he could. And what Tennyson found as a totem of hope was a dragonfly. His full poem, titled The Dragonfly, is printed on the back. Thank you, copyright expirations. My point is that as much time as we had to organize montages and homages to Peter, they're all incomplete. It's all excerpts. There are photos we don't have, memories unshared, stories about Peter untold. I hope we hear more of those today and for many years to come. I am no Tennyson, but I too wrote a poem many years ago for my children, which ends, "As I lie dying and fly above, and in my sight are heaven's doors, the last names I shall speak are yours." Is it too difficult to believe that Peter, some form of Peter, left his dearest ones with hope? That onward to heaven he left breadcrumbs and final messages through honeybee and dragonfly and golden hawk? He stopped to show love to those overwhelmed for whom the clocks stopped. The clocks stopped when he died. W.H. Auden wrote that. He also wrote, and I'm paraphrasing again, "All I have is a voice to undo the folded lie. We must love one another or die." What I believe strongly is the moments we're sharing today, moments captured on video, photo, stories, that those moments with Peter will carry with us forever. Those same moments that mattered so much to us that we've gathered here today to share them. Those moments mattered to Peter too. He loved Nick. He loved his parents. He loved all of you. And we loved and we do love him. Fly on, Peter. Stay golden, Pony Boy.